Boone, but he just blossomed last year.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, with the way he moves around the floor at his size, you had to know that if he started to put it all together, he would be a game-changing talent, and he showed flashes of that and made a big leap last season.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Well, over the break, I listened in on Stan Van Gundy's huddle. If he has his way, this will be a shootout. He told his guys to play the game at as fast a tempo as they can manage. He also said that their work on the offensive glass is going to be critical. He believes second chance points will go a long way toward deciding this game. So still in the opening quarter, and already some adjustments being made. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks again, Doris. And the best to By Hill.
And you said with Drummond, you know, the movement and fluidity of him, he makes the extraordinary seem so easy at times. Very much a highlight reel machine at such a young age. Taking a look here at some numbers for Rodney Stuckey. How his last 10 games have gone. He's putting up 10 points a night, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. Those aren't bad numbers, but they're not the kind that are going to earn a lot of extra minutes for him either.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if he wants to play a bigger role, a larger role on the team, those numbers are going to have to be better than just decent. You know, the highlight plays will always be there for a guy like Drummond. Size, speed, athleticism. But, you know, he was able to take on a lot more minutes last year and did not see an incredible efficiency drop-off, which is impressive. I think that could be just a sign of things to come for this young man.
You have to wonder, as we've seen Paul George go from good to great and then from great to fantastic the last couple of seasons, what's his ceiling? I mean, with his size and skill set, there's very little that he can't do on the floor.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Mahinmi's checked in for Hibbert. West comes in for Luis Scola. Donald Sloan's checked in for Rodney Stuckey. And it's Watson in for Hill. And it's White missing. Well, Clark, for Paul George, it's incredible to think that he was taken as late as he was in the draft, but as you said earlier, his ceiling is through the roof, and he's right up there with LeBron and KD as the best threes in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. Really nice to watch his development because he's made progress each year. It'll take an incredible amount of hard work for him to surpass either of those two in the grand scheme of things, but I wouldn't doubt anything when it comes to Paul George's ceiling. It's just going to be a matter of his commitment to the work and staying focused on realizing his tremendous God-given ability.
Poked away and stolen by White. The numbers in their favor.
Now that is a quick bucket. Pretty good in transition.
That's right. That's exactly right. He loves when he gets the chance to get out and run. That's when he's at his best.
There's 49 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Watson dishes to Mahinmi. Pass to Watson. It's Drummond with the rebound.
They've been getting out-muscled on the boards before coming up with that one.
Not playing tough enough. The physicality just hasn't been there yet.
West with the steal. Now the Pacers moving it up. The floater. Rebound, Detroit. Drummond's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Jackson kicks to White. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. White's got his first points of the game.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but their cutting, their movement together as a unit that's led to that.
Outside for George. The three-pointer is right on target. George has got a couple of threes now in the first of the Pacers. And here's White. Fires for 3. And no good trying to get that one. Well, it's been a high-scoring competitive game through the first quarter of play. Pacers lead by 3. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. Indiana. Mahinmi comes in for Roy Hibbert. And Donald Sloan subbed in for Rodney Stuckey. Detroit also making some changes. Andre Drummond's checked in for Williams. White comes in for Reggie Jackson. And Lucas subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Paul George is the 3 with David West at the 4. Watson out there with Donald Sloan. And it's Mahinmi in at the 5 down low. So that's the group out there for Indiana. And that one's good. Drummond. The Pacers have gone 6 of 11 from the floor. Over 50% shooting here in the second quarter. West kicks to Sloan. And the layup's good off the glass. And the Pacers lead by 4.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside into that lane area has been huge for them.
Now here's Lucas. He's covered by Watson. Just 5 to shoot. Fires from the wing. No good. And Indiana will go the other way with it. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Sacramento.
And you don't need to dig too deep into the box score to figure out why they lost the game. I mean, their shooting percentage was abysmal.
You know, sometimes we talk about the defense getting into the heads of the opposing players, but it seemed that night they got in their own heads, couldn't get out of their own way as they lost confidence at the offensive end.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official. Shooting 100% in the quarter, they've made them all, taking full advantage at the line.
Well, it's a nice job of really making the most of their opportunities.
Well done again. He doesn't have the same problems at the line that plague some of the NBA's other big men.
It was almost like he was surprised to be that wide open, yet he knocked it down.
Pacers leading by 4.
And they can guarantee this is the last possession of the quarter if they hang on to it.
And that's probably what they're going to do here.
To the middle. It's deflected. Stolen by Monroe. Outside, White. He gets it up. Got it off in time, but it's no good. And a tight game here as we end the first half. Indiana out in front. They're up by 4. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke.
All right, fellas. Still anyone's ball game right now. A few things from the first half.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second. West is checked in for Roy Hibbert. Sean Williams checks in for Detroit. Jackson comes in for Meeks. And Detroit looking at who they've got. Tayshaun Prince out there with Williams. Then there's Jennings. Then there's Reggie Jackson. And it's Drummond in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And stolen by Stuckey. And now the fast break. Hill with the ball. Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey. And 11 points for Hill.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
White, he's checked in for Jennings. And a brief look now at who's leading the league in the rebound department. Number 1, Andre Drummond. Greg Monroe, 3rd.
You know, these guys both have found a way to get good position and grab rebounds game after game. Not everyone works as hard as these two do on the glass.
Clock at 6. Here's Drummond, and he gets it to go. Drummond's got 8 here in the quarter.
He's flipped the script here in this half, shooting a much higher percentage from the field. Andre Drummond, kind of a late bloomer when it came to basketball, really. Was pretty uncoordinated as a kid. He'd struggle to make layups early on. It wasn't until around the age of 14 that he really started to show some promise.
Some changes for Indiana. Mahimi's checked in for Scola. Donald Sloan comes in for Rodney Stuckey. And it's Watson in for George Hill. And Detroit with a change here, too. Caldwell Pope checked in. Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, guys, David West is one of the most consistent guys in the entire NBA. Not only with his production, but with his demeanor on a team. As Coach Frank Vogel said, West has poise and composure. He's our rock. There's no other way to put it. He's a leader for them, Kevin, on and off the court.
A steady vet. Thank you, Doris.
Yeah, one of the savviest players you'll see, no doubt.
Not often you see him take that shot. White's got 5 points so far.
And for Drummond, a different upbringing than a lot of blue chippers. His mother's focus was squarely on academics and his character, not on a future in the NBA. In fact, one time he was supposed to attend a basketball camp hosted by LeBron James, but his mother held him out because he'd forgotten to do his laundry.
1:02 left here in the third quarter. Here's White. It's rebounded by Indiana. Mahinmi's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. When you look at Drummond Clark, do you think his upbringing kept him grounded?
I do, Kevin. I mean, we're all products of how we've been raised. In some ways, I think it threw off talent evaluators because he lacked that obvious, overt ego and confidence, but that belied a hunger to be good, and we're seeing that work pay off. That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Any extra possessions that you can get, either through steals or rebounds, are so critical in this game.
And George.
Oh, get it! Watch out now. A signature slam right there from the big fella. How many of those have we seen before?
Pistons trail by 12. Outside, White. Tries from 16. The shot no good. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Pacers lead by 12. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Making some changes. Mahinmi's checked in for Hibbert. West comes in for Luis Scola. And Donald Sloan subbed in for Rodney Stuckey. And a different look here for the Pistons. Anthony's checked in for Monroe. Caldwell Pope comes in for Tayshaun Prince. Whitey's checked in for Meeks. And John Lucas is subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Paul George is the 3 with David West at the 4. Donald Sloan out there with Watson. And it's Mahinmi in at the 5. So that's the group out there for Indiana. Lucas the pass to White. Uncovered. And yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim. Now Watson. Now George. So no problem for it.
Guys, Paul George standing by with me here. And Paul, first, congratulations on the win. What's the attitude you have as a team right now?
Continue to play together. And we can just stick to that, keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Paul, thank you so much. Guys, over to you.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Thank you for joining us for this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports.
Come on. Who died? You look a little nervous.
Well, I heard it's never a good thing to be called into the GM's office, especially the day your 10-day contract is up. So if you're going to release me, I would just appreciate it if you did it quickly.
I'm going to be brutally honest, kid. You haven't done enough to secure a regular roster spot.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, wait. You have done enough to secure another 10-day contract, though.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm going to give you another shot to prove you belong in this league permanently, huh?
Hey, you won't regret it either. I'm going to make it awfully hard for you to let me go.
I hope so. Look, a contract's on my secretary's desk. You go sign that on your way out. Get out of here.
All right, thank you.
All right. Where's my lunch?